All right, so it's been a while. Hope you all had a good winter, a good off season. Tomorrow night is the draft. Normally, I am way more on top of this. I'm a big draft guy. Just life, being life, man. I just haven't had the time. There's a lot of shit that has gone down since since my last video, basically. I wouldn't say a lot of shit, but new quarterback, right? Justin Fields, right? Darnold wound up going to the Seahawks, all that type of shit. So I'm just gonna touch on the Justin Fields thing pretty quick. Then I'm just gonna give you what I think the Jets should do with the first pick. Like I said, normally I break this down a lot more. I just wanted to get some type of a video out for the draft. And I'm not even going to edit this fucking thing. I'm recording it. If I fuck up in the middle of it, then so be it. I'm just going to record it and then upload it. I'm not even going to have any graphics on it, nothing. So, but because I don't have the time to do all the editing, and so I'm just going to upload this thing. I just want to give my thoughts, like I said, on the first pick, what I think they should do. And I would definitely want to hear what you think as far as who they should draft. And that's pretty much it. So with that, let's talk about Justin Fields first a little bit. What do I think about Justin Fields? I don't think it's a bad move. If I'm not mistaken, he is part of Zach Wilson's draft class, which is not the greatest quarterback draft class. But do I think he was probably the best QB to grab in this offseason? Probably, right? He's got potential. He's a different type of quarterback. He's a running type of quarterback a little bit, right? One thing I like about Justin Fields is this, and I wasn't even aware of this, and then I found this out. He's a former teammate with Garrett Wilson from Ohio. I believe it was Ohio, right? And that's a good thing. I mean, so Garrett Wilson must have been like pretty psyched when they got Justin Fields. They have chemistry from college. So, college teammates. So I think that's a really good thing. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's somebody else on the Jets who was also a teammate of Justin Fields from Ohio. It might be one of the tight ends. I'm not sure. But obviously the big connection is Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson. I'm a Garrett Wilson guy. And I just want Garrett Wilson to be happy. So I think getting Justin Fields makes Garrett Wilson happy. So, and like I said, they should have, some built-in chemistry already. So that's a good thing. So we'll see what happens. Now, that brings us to the draft. Do the Jets draft a quarterback? I don't think you draft one in the first round. And we're just pretty much going to talk about the first pick, which is the 7th pick for the Jets. Who do I think they should draft in this, for this first pick? What do they need? They need offensive line. I mean, I think you always kind of need offensive line, but especially the Jets. There's a need for right tackle, right? So to me, we drafted the franchise left tackle last year. Now we have a chance to solidify the bookends, right? So I'm in favor of drafting a right tackle at number 7. There's this guy they talk about. He's supposed to be like the best right tackle in the draft. He's like a natural right tackle. I think his name begins with an M, Mamor or something like that. That's who I think they should go after with the number 7 pick. I was up in the air about should they go after that tight end. I think his name is Warren. If they go after the tight end, I don't think that's a bad move either. So either way, to me, offensive tackle or the tight end. To me, those are the two primary options that they should look at, and hopefully draft one of them. That's my opinion. Like I said, I would not reach for a quarterback here in this draft with these quarterbacks. I would draft a quarterback maybe second round, third round. We'll see who's available. They talk about that guy Dart, who might slip a little bit if he's around. Now they have, we got a pretty good draft here. So this is what they have. They have round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, 2 in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th. So this is a pretty solid draft for the Jets. They got a lot of picks, a lot of good picks. You can always find that gem in the later rounds, which, I would love to see them do at some point, especially with a quarterback. That's why I'm saying maybe, listen, I've said this in many videos, they should draft a quarterback every single year until they get the franchise quarterback. Or at some point, it's got to hit. If you draft one every fucking year, I don't care what round, at some point you got to hit on a franchise quarterback, but you got to keep drafting them. So I would definitely draft a quarterback in this draft. You don't know what Fields is going to do. So I would definitely draft somebody in this draft and just see how they pan out. Jordan Travis, I heard, he might not even be coming back. There was a point there where I thought maybe he might be the hidden gem that they found, but it doesn't seem to be working out with him. So I would definitely think about drafting a quarterback in this draft. But like I said, they talked about that other guy, I think it's Jackson Dart, who might slip down in the draft. So maybe you look at him if he's available in like the second round. If he's available for the Jets in the second round, I would jump on that guy, because that's who I keep seeing that if they're going to draft somebody, it might be that guy later on in the draft if he slips. And he looks like a big quarterback with a strong arm, and that's what you want. I don't know too much about him, but so like I said, just wanted to get a video out for the draft. Normally, I'm way more on top of it, but like I said, just a lot of shit going on, man, and just haven't had the time. And, usually in the off season, I like to take a little break from the Jet videos. They're one after the other when the season's going on, and I got so many other fucking projects I'm working on that it's just time-consuming shit, So that's about it. But I had to get a draft video out for this year, and that's pretty much, those are my thoughts, basically. Line, for the first pick, offensive lineman or the tight end, one of those blue chip players should be there for them, and that's who I would take. After that, maybe some more people for the line. You can't go wrong with offensive linemen. I would just draft maybe another one or two. Another possibility at number 7, if there is a blue chip stud for either defensive line or edge rusher that maybe they thought would not slip to them. Maybe you think about that as well. To me, that's the outside type of option here, if it should go that way. You can't, sometimes, listen, if a blue chip, just defensive animal shows up on your doorstep at number 7, you might want to think about taking them. But at the same time, we have offensive line issues. I really think they should go offensive line at number 7. So that, and like I said, and one more thing, I've mentioned this, back in the season. I would think about drafting a kicker in this draft. I really would. If a good prospect kicker is around for them to grab, I would even grab a kicker if it's like a really good kicker. I would even spend like a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick. If it's a golden goose kicker, you know what I'm saying? But kicking is super important. It's something the Jets have been struggling with. If you can find like a possible franchise kicker, maybe you think about pulling the trigger on that as well in this draft. And if there's not a blue chip one, then maybe the later picks, you go after a kicker anyway. And that's it, man. Like I said, I'll try to put something out after the draft. It'll be more organized. And that's pretty much it. So pretty much give me your thoughts. Put it into the comment section. Tell me who you think they should draft and what do you think they should do. I'd be interested to see what you're thinking as well. And like I said, hope everything's cool. Been a while, but I did want to get this video up and running before the draft, which is tomorrow night.